Hey, welcome back to Coding for Kids. Today's tutorial is going to go over the sound blocks in Scratch. So those blocks are located right here. These blocks let you add sounds into your program to make it more interesting, and they let you customize your sound so that it's perfect. So by default, Scratch gives you one sound that's already loaded into your program, which is the meow sound. Um, so this is what that sounds like. And if you don't like how that sounds like, we can just get rid of that. And now you might think, oh no, we don't have any more sounds. Well, fear not, because there's a lot of sounds that Scratch gives to you by default for you to use in your projects. So these are all the sounds that are provided in the default Scratch library. So yeah, there's a lot of them. And if you don't like any of these sounds, you can always record your own sound, or you can even have Scratch randomize a sound from its sound library, or you can also upload a sound. So if you have like an MP4 file in your local hard drive, you can just upload that to Scratch to use in your projects. So I'm just gonna choose a sound and I will be picking the teleport to sound, which is right here. Okay, so once you have that sound, or like once it shows up here, you'll be able to use that in your project with the sound blocks. So you can rename the sound, but I'll just leave it as teleport to. And you can also adjust the properties of the sound. So you can speed it up, you can slow it down, you can make it louder or softer, or you can mute it, or you can make it fade in and fade out, or you could reverse the sound so that it's like quiet at the beginning and then loud at the end instead of loud at the beginning and quiet at the end. And then the robot just makes the sound different. Okay, so this is what the teleport to sound sounds like. So in order to show you how the sound blocks work, let's create a simple project that utilizes these sound blocks. So I'm just gonna leave the sprite as a cat because that's what it is by default, and I'm not really interested in changing it. So before we make that simple project, I'm gonna go over all of the sound blocks. So the first block you have is the play sound until done block. So what this block does is that once you start this block, it's gonna play whatever sound is selected here until the sound is done. The second block is similar to the first one, except you can start or you can stop the sound. It just starts the sound. You can stop it with the third block. But if you use the first one, it's going to play the sound until the sound is done. The fourth block changes the pitch effect by 10. So the pitch kind of tells you how loud or not how loud, how high or how low the sound is. So by increasing the pitch by 10, you're making it higher. And if you increase the number from 10 to like 100, you're going to make the sound even higher, even faster. And then there's other properties that you can adjust, such as the pan left or right, and that just moves the pointer to the left or to the right. And you can also set the pitch or the pan left and right to a certain number. And if you don't want any of those sound effects, you can clear that with the sixth block. So that just resets the sound to how it was initially. And these last two blocks are pretty simple. You can change the volume by a certain number, or you can set the volume to a certain percent. So 100% is the loudest it can get, and 0% is the quietest it can get. And finally, you have this circle. It's not exactly a block, but this circular shaped, I'll just call it a block, has a number associated to it, which is the volume. So you can drop this into any circle spaced hole in a block and it will kind of just click in. And this kind of just refers to the volume. So this is just a variable that refers to the volume. So now that you know what all the blocks do, let's start making the project. So as always, we first have to use the when green flag clicked in order to start our project. And I'm just going to put this in a forever loop. So I'll grab the forever loop and put that right under the when green flag clicked block. And then I'm going to go to the sound blocks and grab the start sound block, just like that. So this means that when the green flag is clicked, it's gonna play the teleport to sound forever. So if you wanna hear what that sounds like, this is what it sounds like. Yeah, it doesn't sound very good. Next, we're gonna go into motion, and I'm just gonna use the go to random position in order to make the cat move to a random position. So now when I click the green flag, it's gonna go to a random position and start the sound teleport too, but it's still gonna sound pretty bad because it's in a forever loop. Yeah, that's what that sounds like. But in order to make it sound like an actual teleporting sound, and in order to make the cat look like it's teleporting, let's use the wait 1 second block in order to slow it down. So if we put it at the end, it's going to wait 1 second before it restarts the loop, which is why which gives it an opportunity to finish the sound. So this is what that looks like. So now we're kind of getting where we want to. So I'm also going to use these change pitch effect blocks in order to kind of show you what that does. So 10 is like a really small number, so I'm going to increase this to 100 to make the change more apparent, and I'll just put it right here so that you know what it sounds like when the pitch changes by 100 after each iteration of the loop. So this is what that sounds like. So as you can see, it just got higher and higher pitched. And you can also change this by negative 100, and this makes it sound even lower. So yeah, that's what that sounds like. And if you just want to set the pitch to its default setting, which is 0, just click that block and it's going to reset. And once you take this out, it's going to sound normal. So yeah, that's a really simple tutorial on how to use the sound blocks, and we hope that this video helped. Thank you for joining us.